Imagine spending $70,000 on a brand new vehicle. You hold the title, you paid the taxes, it's sitting in your driveway. It's freezing outside, so you press the button for the heated seats. Nothing happens. Instead, an alert pops up on your massive iPad dashboard. Please renew your $18 monthly subscription to unlock this feature. This isn't a dystopian sci-fi movie. This is the sickening reality of the auto industry right now. Automakers have realized that selling you a car once isn't enough. They want to bleed you dry every single month for the rest of your life. They are deliberately encrypting the computers in your engine, locking out your trusted local mechanic, and turning your car into a hostage. But the brand taking the number one spot on our list today has gone so far into the dark side of corporate greed. They are literally rewriting the laws of ownership, remotely shutting down vehicles just because the owner dared to use a third-party wrench. Stick around, because if you plan on buying a car anytime before 2026, the number one spot is a financial landmine you must avoid. Toyota. For decades, this brand was the gold standard of the working man, the ultimate promise of reliability. You bought a Toyota because it was a mechanical fortress. No gimmicks, no nonsense. Just turn the key and it goes for 300,000 miles. They built an empire on the trust of everyday Americans who wanted to buy a vehicle and simply be left alone. But then, the Wall Street accountants took over. In late 2021, Toyota owners made a horrifying discovery. People who had paid outright for their RAV4s and Tundras realized their remote start function, the button physically located on the key fob in their pocket, suddenly stopped working. Why? Because Toyota quietly tied the key fob's radio wave remote start to their Audio Plus connected services subscription. If you didn't pay Toyota $8 a month or $80 a year, they effectively broke the button on your key fob. Let me be clear, this wasn't an app on your phone connecting to a cell tower. This was a physical radio signal from the fob in your hand to the car in your driveway. And Toyota put a toll booth right in the middle of it. The backlash was nuclear. Toyota tried to claim it was an unintentional engineering quirk, but the damage was done. For the consumer, this was the ultimate betrayal. You're paying a monthly ransom for hardware you already own to perform a function that costs the manufacturer absolutely zero ongoing dollars. It proved that no brand, not even the mighty Toyota, is immune to the infection of corporate greed. The brotherhood of muscle, that's what Dodge calls it. Jeep promises absolute freedom and rugged independence. These are brands built on the idea of getting your hands dirty, the core American tradition of popping the hood in your driveway on a Sunday afternoon, diagnosing a problem and fixing it yourself. That tradition is dead.
Agreed.
In 2018, Fiat Chrysler, now Stellantis, introduced a little black box of pure corporate evil called the Secure Gateway Module, or SGW. On paper, they claimed it was to protect your car from hackers. In reality, it was a declaration of war against independent mechanics. The SGW locks the car's diagnostic port. If your check engine light comes on, your local mechanic can't just plug in his $5,000 Snap-on scanner and see what's wrong. To even read the codes or do something as simple as resetting a service light after an oil change, the mechanic now has to buy a specialized digital license from Chrysler, connect to their servers via Wi-Fi, and pay a toll. The aftermath is devastating. Stellantis is trying to bankrupt the independent auto shop. By burying the ability to repair behind expensive paywalls and corporate server authentications, they are forcing you, the owner, to take your car back to the dealership. And we all know what happens there. $200 per hour of labor rates and massive markups on parts. You don't own a Jeep anymore. You own a Chrysler-controlled lease on a piece of hardware you're not allowed to touch. The best or nothing. For over a century, Mercedes-Benz represented the pinnacle of automotive engineering. When you bought a Benz, you were buying absolute, uncompromised performance. You paid a premium price up front, and in return, you got a masterpiece of German engineering. But in the new era of EVs, Mercedes decided the best requires a yearly subscription. They launched their EQ series electric cars with a built-in software governor. The physical electric motors in the car you bought are fully capable of producing maximum horsepower, but Mercedes deliberately detuned them. To unlock the car's actual capability, to shave a second off your 0 to 60 time, you have to pay them a $1,200 annual subscription called the acceleration increase. They built the full engine, put it in your car, charged you for the manufacturing weight of it, and then locked it behind a digital paywall. This is pure extortion. In the old days, if you wanted more horsepower, you bought a bigger engine or you bolted on a supercharger. You owned the upgrade. Now you are carrying around dead weight, hardware you paid for, that is held hostage by a line of code. If you stop paying the $1,200 a year, your car instantly becomes slower. When you go to sell the car on the used market, the next guy has to pay the ransom all over again. BMW, the ultimate driving machine, a brand synonymous with luxury and driver-centric focus. When you sit in a modern BMW, you expect to be pampered. You expect everything to work flawlessly because you just dropped $60,000 to $100,000 on a premium German sedan. BMW looked at the video game industry, saw how billions were made on microtransactions, and decided to infect the auto industry with it. In a move that sparked global outrage, BMW began installing the physical heating coils into the seats of all their vehicles coming off the assembly line. But they didn't connect them to a switch. They connected them to a software lock. In markets like South Korea and the UK, owners were greeted with a prompt to pay $18 a month to activate the heaters in the winter. They even tried charging $10 a month for the heated steering wheel, and previously, they tried to charge $80 a year just to use Apple CarPlay, a feature that comes free on a $15,000 Kia. The global backlash was so fierce that BMW eventually backpedaled on the heated seats. But make no mistake, this was a test run. They were testing the waters to see how much abuse the consumer would take. The terrifying reality is that automakers now view the car as a platform. They want your vehicle to be like a smartphone, where you are bombarded with in-app purchases just to stay warm on your morning commute. And now, the climax. The brand that promised to save the world, Tesla. Elon Musk sold the public on a vision of the future. Clean energy, massive touchscreens, and a car that gets better over time through over-the-air updates. They were the disruptors. The cool Silicon Valley alternative to the dinosaur legacy automakers. But behind that sleek, minimalist dashboard is the most tyrannical, anti-consumer software architecture ever created. Tesla doesn't just hate independent mechanics. They actively destroy cars that are repaired outside their network. It's called parts serialization. If a window motor, a steering rack, or even a battery module breaks on your Tesla, you cannot simply go to a junkyard, buy a perfectly good original Tesla part, and bolt it in. Why? Because every single part has a digital serial number tied to the car's main computer. If the car detects a part it doesn't recognize, even if it's a genuine Tesla part, it will reject it. It will throw error codes. It might even disable the car completely. And it gets worse. Remember Hurricane Irma? Tesla remotely unlocked extra battery capacity for owners fleeing the storm, proving they had deliberately software locked the batteries people had already bought. Furthermore, if you buy a salvaged Tesla and rebuild it perfectly, Tesla will remotely scan your car, identify it as salvage, and permanently disable its ability to use superchargers. Tesla has successfully turned the automobile into a disposable iPhone. They maintain an absolute iron-fisted monopoly over parts and service. If they quote you $20,000 for a battery replacement, you have no alternative. You can't go to Joe's garage down the street. If you try, Tesla will brick your car. They have destroyed the very concept of ownership. You paid $80,000, but you are merely renting the privilege of driving Elon Musk's hardware on his terms until he decides to turn it off. The right to repair isn't just a political talking point. It is the last line of defense between your wallet and the insatiable greed of Wall Street. These corporations are stealing your icons, locking your hardware, and trying to kill the blue-collar mechanic. Don't let them. Support independent shops and fight for right to repair legislation in your state. I want to hear from you. Which of these corporate scams makes your blood boil the most, or worse? What's the most ridiculous car subscription you personally encountered at a dealership? Let me know in the comments below. Stay sharp, guard your wallets, and I'll see you in the next one.